incredible story of survival out of Lacey, Washington. A woman says she was stabbed in the chest by her husband and buried in a shallow grave with a heavy tree on top of her. She goes on to say she struggled for hours, finally tearing off the duct tape that bound her, and ran 30 minutes until she found a house. Now, she is recovering. Her husband has been arrested on suspicion of first-degree attempted murder. Now, this case just unbelievable. We are joined live by Lacey, Washington Police Chief Robert Almada. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Natasha. Good evening.
Good evening. I do want to clear something up because the woman was found after she escaped that shallow grave on Monday at 1 a.m. But police in Lacey responded the day before to her house on Sunday afternoon after receiving a 911 call of a woman screaming who sounded gagged. Walk me through what happened there.
So about a week ago Sunday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, we received phone calls through 911. Exactly as you say, female screaming with a muffled sound as if she was gagged, and the call was cut off. We had the address as a residence here in Lacey. We responded, and we found the location. The garage door was open. The house had been ransacked. Cell phones have been smashed. Other devices have been smashed, and everybody was missing. A few minutes later, her two children arrived, one adult, one minor, and it said that the father had been there earlier in the day, and there had been some problems, some arguments.
At that point, did you immediately realize that something was amiss and police started searching for her? Or what happened at that point? Because police didn't have contact with her again until she brought herself to someone's house at 1 in the morning after being stabbed and buried.
Right. So we found duct tape with hair on it, and really appeared some bad things had happened. We found video from some neighbors where a van had been pulled into the garage, and the garage door closed and then left. So based on the information, we believe we had a kidnapping. We alerted our local, state, and federal law enforcement partners and started putting out bulletins trying to locate the victim. That went on for about 12 hours until we got first contact where the victim had been able to escape her attacker and gone to a nearby house in a rural area a few miles away from where she was abducted.
Do you believe the police could have done anything more, or was anything missed? Did things proceed exactly the way, with hindsight being 2020, the way that you would have wanted?
Well, I'm very pleased with our response. We used every resource we had. We called in detectives, our special operations folks. We notified county resources, state resources, federal resources, and started using all means possible to attempt to track down the victim. Unfortunately, like you talked about, the suspect took steps to mask his tracking. So he destroyed all her phones, destroyed the Apple Watch she had, and it means that we had to track her via those and also his own, and went to mask his trail.
Thank you. And I do want to ask about the Apple Watch specifically, because the woman says even though he bound her and she was blindfolded, she tried to contact 911 and send emergency notifications using her watch, and then he smashed it. Can you provide any insight? Did those notifications to 911 go through? Did that make a difference?
It assisted us to know that something was wrong, but it really didn't help us as far as locating her any farther as far as our investigation. Later on, after she was located, we went back to the area she described. We found the grave that the suspect had dug. We found the duct tape that was there. We found the imprint from her Apple Watch on that duct tape, along with her hair. So definitely tying her to that scene and also the suspect to that scene.
Can you tell us any more about her condition at this point?
Yes. Although she was stabbed, they were non-life-threatening wounds. She was able to escape. She went to a local hospital, was treated. She's now receiving emotional and psychological support through both a variety of agencies as well through the court.
And we know her husband is being held without bail at this point. Can you tell us about the charges he's facing and how strong this case is?
It's a pretty strong case from my experience. He's looking at kidnapping, attempted murder, all related to domestic violence.
Police Chief Robert Almada, certainly appreciate your time and so glad that she is okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.